Water is life and we need to save it, conserve it, please don't waste it. Use it when it's necessary for cooking, drinking and beating the heat. Save the water, save the water, save the water.
Everybody needs to come together to conserve and to save our water. We can do it, yes we can do it.
Water is life, but we can lose it.
We ask you to conserve. We ask you to utilize the water responsibly.
Save the water, save the water.
This is Jamo
And Rajesh
with a message from Guyana Water Incorporated and PAL.
This is GWI's Customer Alert, a program brought to you by the nation's water utility, the Guyana Water Incorporated. I'm your host, Timothy Austin, and in this week's broadcast, we'll take you to the stakeholder consultation for the Georgetown Sanitation Rehabilitation Program, and our program is funded by the government of Guyana through the Inter-American Development Bank. And this week, you'll hear from our Chief Executive, Mr. Sheikh Bash, as well as Honorable Minister of Housing and Water, Irfan Ali. And he'll be speaking about the benefits of this program to residents as well as businesses in central Georgetown. And then in our final segment, we'll bring you the issues, news, and events happening right now in Guyana's water sector with this week's edition of the News Desk. We hope you'll stay with us for all of that. But first up, here's Damali with this week's Water Wise Tip.
A patch of water on dry road on a sunny day is a clear sign of a leak. Report leaks to GWI on 227-8701. A message from Guyana Water Incorporated.
Welcome back to GWI's Customer Alert. Thanks for staying with us. And as we told you earlier, we'll be sharing with you highlights of the stakeholder consultation for the Georgetown Sanitation Rehabilitation Program. And that program is funded by the government of Guyana through the Inter-American Development Bank, the IDB. And now you'll hear from GWI's Chief Executive, Mr. Sheikh Bash. You'll also hear from Honorable Minister Irfan Ali about the importance of this program to customers and the business community within central Georgetown. Here's that feature.
We have our Chief Executive of GWI, who's been very vibrant for the past few weeks. He's very enthusiastic. He has a strategic vision for GWI. And at this time, I'd like to for you to join with me in putting our hands together and welcoming Mr. Sheikh Bash.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jailal. Well, I also join with Mr. Jailal in welcoming you here today. And we have the Honorable Minister of Education, Housing and Water, who will be addressing you shortly. Now, this is a stakeholders consultation because this is a major project. Over $2 billion will be spent on the Georgetown Sanitation Improvement Program. And it is necessary that we engage with stakeholders, the businesses in Georgetown, customers of GWI, to ensure that they're all on board. Because inevitably, there will be some inconvenience in traffic, in lane of the main lines, pipelines that is, and you know what happens, you will hear all kinds of complaints. So we want to ensure that on a continuous basis, all businesses, stakeholders, and users of the sewage system are apprised. This is just the beginning, because we will continuously be communicating progress on the project so that it is a smooth project with very few ripples. And we will open a special line at GWI so that any problems you encounter, that dedicated line, you can access that line and let us know so we can immediately take corrective action. Because this is the capital city, and we know what can happen when different sections of the city come under the project and the lines are being dug up for replacement purposes. Also, there's a listing of all the streets which will be affected, and importantly, we have a detailed video of the Georgetown Sewage Rehabilitation Program, and it is available at GWI's official YouTube channel. So you can access that to get more information because it will be updated. And that is very, very important. We will be monitoring very closely what is taking place in this project over the next 18 months. We do have a consultancy firm that will be supervising the contractors, and we will be having regular meetings apart from our own site visits to ensure that the project is moving on stream, moving on time, so that within the time for the project to be completed, it is completed. So ladies and gentlemen, this is important, an important development for the city of Georgetown. Years ago, and we had a 20-year plan because it's so costly to upgrade and rehabilitate the sewer pumping stations and the huge transmission lines. So it had to be phased, and there has been continuous work by the government of Guyana over the last 20 years in ensuring that we complete this major Georgetown sewage rehabilitation program. So once again, thank you for coming here.
I first of all want to congratulate the management of GWI. I want to congratulate the head of our sanitation division. I want him to stand so that you can recognize him. For the hard work they have done in getting this project this far. And let me just give you the context in which this project has been developed. We have a sewer system in the city that is almost 100 years old. There is no blueprint. There is no on-the-ground map. There is no structural drawings. There is no base document from which they're working. A lot of the institutional knowledge in relation to the sewer system has also been lost. That is the basis from which they started. So the development of the Georgetown sewer system fell in the strategic plan of GWI. And you know, we had public consultation on the strategic plan of GWI. Mr. Ramesh Duku himself, I think in his capacity then as vice chairman of the board, led some of those consultations. So we have a strategic plan for GWI that is grounded in how the public perceive us, in what the public see as their priority, and what that has enabled us to do in GWI is to have greater ownership of the plan. To have ownership that would lead to a higher level of consumer satisfaction. And whilst we have made many advances, there are still many challenges. Many challenges that we must work on together to resolve. And I want to assure you, the stakeholders, that we will remain committed to the engagement that is necessary for successful project implementation and delivery. This project is also linked to another project where Guyana has been selected as a pilot country. And that is the Caribbean Fund for Wastewater Management. And I think we have the manager for crew here also. I wish for him to stand so that you can recognize him. Sheko, you don't know yourself? Oh, he's not here? There are two brothers who resemble themselves, but you can stand for your brother. Once you see him, you see the brother. They are like identical twins. So let me say this, that this project is managed by a young graduate who came back from Guyana, Sheko. And again, it is new ground for Guyana. It is the first time we are implementing a project that looks at the treatment of wastewater from industrial zones. So under this project, we will have public-private partnership in treating wastewater that goes out back and wastewater that can be reused. You know, we are also developing the integrated water resource management, where we are looking at the most efficient ways in which we can utilize water and have less wastage of water. We have received so far 5 expressions of interest from DDL, Sevron's brother, Huron Brothers, Madawini Villas, and Caribbean Containers. These are the 5 entities, private entities, that have expressed an interest to work with us in the implementation of this project. This project would see a revolving fund of $3 million initially established at, I think, preferential investment rate of 2%, 2.5%. A lot of these private companies would have to meet in the international standards. And part of the standard now internationally is to establish environmentally friendly wastewater treatment facilities. Now we are aware that this is new for Guyana, and the commercial banks sometimes are not desirous of financing such activities that may seem to bring in a very little profitable return. But these facilities are now necessary internationally if we are to access regional and international markets. So this fund will be established, and I am pleased to inform that we have advanced with the proposal of DDL so far because they have had the most detailed proposal. And we are hoping in a not too distant future, maybe within the next 6 weeks, working with the IDB, we can have the first project under this crew initiative launched. In Region 4, we have spent almost $4 billion in the last 6 years. In Georgetown alone, we have spent more than $2.6 billion. And in the East Coast and East Bank, $1.4 billion. Many persons might ask, why are we linking the East Coast and East Bank with Georgetown? But part of the integrated water resource management system itself is to have the entire water distribution of Guyana interlinked in one common network that will support each other in different time of stress and hardship at different locations. We also have to look at the various potential that exists in reducing the cost of energy that is driving up our operational costs at GWI. We are aware that hydro will become a reality very soon in our country. But there are other potential, and I see Mr. Dari here, he may have the institutional knowledge of a study that was done on the highway once. that sought to capture the water resource that we have there and gravity feed it down into the East Bank water network system. So we are going to add capacity in our research and development arm at GWI to relook at the geographic makeup and natural characteristics of our own system here in Guyana to see how we can better capture those advantages in reducing the cost of delivery of water in our country. And we do not want to leave a legacy where 50 years from now somebody will stand here and say there is no blueprint for the sewer system that we're repairing now. So part of this project would see a computerized modeling of the Georgetown sewer system. So that if we employ 2 new persons today, we can take them through the computerized modeling of the system and they will become up to speed with the design layout, the capacity and the engineering functionality of the system we are delivering, we are developing and to deliver to the people today. So as I said before, this project is indeed a very costly project. US $10 million. I will see the complete replacement of 5.5 km sewer ring and the purchase and installation of an additional 24 pumps, which is critical in ensuring the efficient functioning of the system here in Georgetown. In my own view, the city is outgrowing the infrastructure that we have. If you look at the most recent example of Expo, one of the areas with the most difficulty was the management of traffic. And that is because of the infrastructure that exists within the city. If you take a tour around Georgetown today, you will see buildings are changing daily, larger buildings. But I think from an engineering perspective and in the new building codes, we will have to look at not only larger buildings, but the more efficient designs of those large buildings. That is something very critical for us today as we plan for the city. It is my view too that with the expansion we are seeing in the city, we will have to definitely look at the expansion of the city and how our infrastructure today leave enough room for that future expansion. We will have to look at a massive sewer treatment facility on the seawall itself, so that we will not be dumping raw sewage into the Atlantic. And if we are to continue the aggressive march towards becoming the #1 eco destination, then, and our model with LCDS is implemented at a large scale globally, then these are facilities we will have to put in place because we will have to lead by example. So, as I said, there is still a lot to be done. And I'm happy the private sector is here. Because Mr. Nigel Niles is not here, but Mr. Niles is working on an aggressive plan to ensure the enforcement of rules and regulations as it relates to GWI. And there are hundreds of restaurants around the city that does not utilize the grease trap. There are a number of fast food facilities around the city that does not utilize this. And we will be working with the Ministry of Health to ensure that you comply with what is required, otherwise we will have to take the necessary action. There must be responsibility from all of us, from the government, from the private sector, and from the ordinary consumers out there. There are many times when we respond to an emergency in the sewer system, and when we go, we fish out engine block. We fish out rolls of cement paper, tons of condoms. These all add to the difficulty in managing the system. The manhole that we have, the covers, are stolen. They're stolen consistently. We have been able to recover some. But these are things we need the private sector and the consumers out there to collaborate with us. Because we can build the best system. We can have the greatest investment in the system. But if you don't have proper management and use of the system, we will go back to where we were very quickly. A good example is the 4-lane road we built on the east bank from the Harbour Bridge coming into Georgetown. At the highest traffic point in the day, you will see people park along the road, big trucks park. So instead of having 4 lanes, you have 2.5, 3 lanes. These are things we must guard against. So all of us must have a critical role. And the media, we depend on the media to drive a public education campaign. The media has a key role to play in the change of culture and in educating the populace on the management and use of these facilities. So we'll be looking forward, and I know Timothy works very closely with the media, but we'll be looking forward for the help and collaboration of the media as we advance this project forward, but more importantly, as we seek to educate our people in the use and management of the facility. With these words, thank you.
That was Honourable Minister of Housing and Water, Irfan Ali. And earlier, you heard from GWI's Chief Executive, Mr. Sheikh Bash, and they were speaking to you about the benefits of the Georgetown Sanitation Rehabilitation Program. But if you're a resident or you have a business in Central Georgetown, we urge you to visit our website to get more information on how this program will benefit you. And that address is gwiguyana.com. We thank you for joining us for this special feature.
Get to know your water service meter and save big on your next water bill. Here's how. A water service meter helps you to manage your consumption. Meter GWI customers pay less for water as long as they avoid wastage. Your meter helps you to save money since you are billed in an actual reading. If all metered customers work together to avoid wastage, water pressure will increase and you'll enjoy an improved service. Support GWI's metering movement. Remember, if you can't measure it, you can't manage it. A message from Guyana Water Incorporated. This is GWI's News Desk. I'm Dimali Benjamin. In the headlines, Guyana Water Inc. signs contract in excess of $1.7 billion for Linden water supply improvement. Contractor pledges to employ qualified Linden workers. Guyana Water Incorporated signed a contract in excess of $1.7 billion for the construction of 2 water treatment plants, booster stations, and storage facilities. The contract was awarded to Universal Earth Movers Incorporated. The works formed a significant part of the Linden water supply rehabilitation program, which was funded by the government of Guyana through the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. Speaking at the contract signing event held at the Linden Constabulary Building, Chief Executive of the Guyana Water Incorporated, Sheikh Bash, stated, "I am pleased that the contractor will employ skilled and qualified Lindeners who will provide the much needed knowledge and expertise required to execute key civil works. It is a proud moment for all parties involved in the program, which is not only improving the quality of water provided to Lindeners, but also job opportunities for skilled persons." The program seeks to significantly enhance the quality of life experienced by GWI customers in Linden through a massive rehabilitation of the water supply system. Over the next 5 years, GWI will undertake a series of large-scale civil works, which will include the construction of 2 new water treatment plants at the Amelia's Ward and Wizrock, as well as booster stations, reservoirs, and the installation of transmission mains, as well as the rehabilitation of the distribution system, including replacing leaking pipelines and service connections. Through the combination of the new treatment facilities and the reduction of leaks, as well as the upgrade of the distribution system, Linden customers will experience improved quality as well as higher levels of service. Under the program, GWI is also engaging a consultant to develop a strategy to reduce water loss and non-revenue water. The Linden Water Supply Rehabilitation Program will cover a large public education and community outreach component. The success of the LWSRP also depends on the willingness of GWI Linden customers to partner with us on water conservation, protecting freshwater resources, and maintaining safe household water supply, stated Chief Executive Sheikh Bash. For customers to enjoy higher levels of service, they must avoid wastage. We will be engaging all treated water schemes in the conservation campaign via mass media or community meetings. Linden customers can anticipate a strong public education thrust, including a 60-minute television documentary on the program, stated the Chief Executive. We urge them to partner with us as we strive to significantly enhance their quality of life through the improvement of the service we deliver in Linden. Customers with questions about the LWSRP can email pro@gwi.gy, visit www.gwiguyana.com, or post questions via social media at facebook.com/everydropcountsgy, or view videos via YouTube at youtube.com/user/Guyana Water Incorporated. That's it for GWI's News Desk. I'm Dimali Benjamin, reminding you to make every drop count.
Thanks for joining us for this broadcast of GWI's Customer Alert. And if you need any more information on the Georgetown Sanitation Rehabilitation Program, there's so many ways you can get in contact with us. Of course, Laverne, they can email the Public Relations Department with any questions regarding what you saw tonight. And that email address is pro@gwi.gy. We've also posted a special page on our news desk, which is on our website, and that address is gwiguyana.com. And Laverne, of course, you're the resident Facebook addict. I'm going to ask you to tell them about the Facebook page.
Facebook.com/everydropcountsgy.
Right, and Laverne is also our BlackBerry PIN number. If you're on BlackBerry Messenger, everybody's on BlackBerry Messenger right now. We urge you to add us to your BlackBerry Messenger. You can get in contact with us, send us your billing queries, your leak reports, whatever it is. The PIN number is currently on your screen. You can add us and send us your messages.
Timothy, there is also our YouTube page. You can just type in Guyana Water Incorporated and you can view any of our programs on YouTube and also leave us your comments at the bottom.
Great. And our YouTube page is doing well, we need to say, Laverne. I'm so excited, as I said before, I'm so excited about this page. We've had hundreds of views already. A lot of customers are getting in contact with us via Facebook as well as YouTube. That is now accessible to you. So we urge you to get in contact with us. There's so many ways, Laverne, to get in contact with us. We also want to say special thanks to everyone here at NCN who helped us with the broadcast tonight.
Yes, we want to say a special thanks to Lee. We want to say thanks to the graphic department, Vishal and his crew. We want to say thank you so much. As
well as Mr. Mali Benjamin, who did an excellent job with the news desk tonight. Special thanks to the lovely Laverne Fredericks.
And you too, Timothy.
And thanks to your viewers for tuning in for another edition of GWI's Customer Alert. Until next week, I'm Timothy Austin.
And I'm Laverne McPherson,
reminding you to be conservation conscious.
Save the water, save the water, save the water.
This is Jamo
and Rajesh
with a message from Guyana Water Incorporated and